¿Sabías que iba a ser un partidazo cuando se enfrentaban estas dos leyendas, EARL Strickland versus EFRÉN Reyes? No olvides darle like y compartir. Disfrútenlo.
I'll tell you the truth, the safety looked as tough as trying to pocket that one. I think I would have played to pocket the
which is a
one.
problem area for Earl now. Earl tried to drop, he tried the safety behind the 3, or maybe even the, well, he positioned the 2 behind the 5.
That was a fine
Matter
shot.
of fact, I played her and she beat me, and I'm kind of upset about that, but I didn't let her know about it. She also defeated some other fine players, Tang Ho from Los Angeles, and in front of the upper right-hand corner pocket. This is a very big shot in this opening rack.
Ooh.
Sometimes when you shoot that particular type of a shot with outside English, you miss-hit the shot.
This ball into the 4, don't you, Billy? Try to make the 3 or the 4. Oh no, I didn't even think that it would go by the 8. I only saw that shot. Right
and you'll learn that. The more you do commentary, the more you'll learn that certain shots, certain angles are deceiving to us here in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
The balls are lying very, very nicely on the table. There isn't any congestion.
Right in the middle of the table.
Right. Now he may be on the wrong
He's shooting
side
a little timid.
and then going across table. Not that it's all that difficult, but it's a little more work than he should have had to do, considering the position he had on the 6. But nevertheless, he was able to handle it quite nicely, and he should win game number 1. And you're right, he was a little.
Yeah, he is shooting timid. It's not like him. He's jumping on up on shots that I expect him to stay down and fall to the wall.
Nice work. Reyes breaking the balls in game number 2. Pocketing the 1 in the far corner, coming up with a nice shot on the 2. And in the meantime, EFRÉN Reyes has a great opportunity to jump out ahead. He's going to have to try to force it maybe toward the 7. Now he's going forward, and once again, he's showing that tip of this.
Like he's cutting that 4 ball.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
Look at this shot.
And
look at this shot. And I'm sure he knew he was going to have natural position.
Well, we'll go back to a spectacular shot cutting the 4 in. And the remainder of the ball seemed rather routine, but that shot was really something. 6 rail position. Do you think he played it that way?
I know he played it that way.
That's frightening.
It really is. It really is. I have no doubt at all that he played it that way.
Well, one of the things that makes EFRÉN such a great player is his ability to recover. He's so resilient. After, and it's understandably so. Could you ever imagine yourself playing as well as EFRÉN Reyes? And what would you give to play as well as EFRÉN Reyes? Because by pocketing the 2 in the corner, he doesn't have to worry about position.
That's right.
That comes automatic, and the remainder of the rack should.
To the bottom rail, to the right-hand side rail, and back up for the 5.
That's exactly the way he sees it too, because he's positioned as you described it.
And making sure he hits 3 rails, I believe.
1, 2, 3. He didn't hit as much as the 9 as I expected him to hit, but nevertheless, he still hit the 9 and took the route.
9 he was going to hit at that speed. I would have made sure I only hit 3 rails just like he did, for the reason that I don't want to take a chance of it being able to possibly.
That shot was very important, considering that if he hit it too hard, the possibility of a scratch was available, and you don't want to get beat by that. This is game number 3. Reyes already leads by the score of 2-0, and he's looking to extend it. And
now he's stroking the ball.
Well, there's a lot to be said about being at the table with a shot and running out a couple racks. It sort of like loosens up your stroke. And when you're playing, I don't know, to sit here beside you and watch these 2 guys play this game. There's the 9.
It is.
Well, that's game number 4. It goes to Reyes, who now leads in a match by the score of 4.
I try to think as positive as possible. I don't think about whether or not they're getting rolls or how good the person's shooting. I'm just thinking,
Well, you know, that way of thinking is definitely right. And you understand that patience, and it's going that way again. Look, that patience is really a virtue, and that if you have it, you'll do much better. Pocketed the 9 now twice on the break. The score at this juncture of the match is 5. Well, not really, because you know, his pocketing ability is so good, and that's a very good shot also. Nice easy billiard on the 4-9. So he'll locate the cue ball, or relocate the cue ball on this side of the table. for the 4-9 billiard. And with a few strokes, I think he's going to have now a 6-0 lead in the match. Considering the generosity at the table in regard of giving up balls on, you'll find tables where you'll be able to pocket balls on the break, and that's when it's so important to control both the 1 ball and the cue ball. If you notice, every time he breaks the balls, the 1 ball goes cross corner toward the upper right-hand corner. And
either pockets it or
another type of a kick. If you see, by kicking now, if he pockets the 2, there's too much traffic with the 4-9 for him to play position for the 3. Okay, now what he did here was he positioned the cue ball where he's left early. Combinations available, but still, you know, there's a lot of work. Feeling that Earl may have been a little bit tight in the chair, maybe mispocketing the 2. Well, Earl seems to be quite comfortable with very gutsy shot. He's made some good shots. By the way, that was another good shot there. Ideal spot on the table.
quite a bit of confidence, although the fact that he hasn't shot in quite a few games.
Quite often because of the Samoan surface, and then when the he used the electric ball. It hits that certain area where the chalk is on the cue ball, and it sticks. It adheres to it, and that's how a stick happens. And that's why he really didn't get the draw.
Studying these men play, their patterns, and there has never been a match where I have not learned at least 2 or 3 things new. And it's funny, I notice a lot of little things that have taken me the past 2 years that I've been playing on the tour. All the little, and you start shooting so fast that you just miss the next shot. Or, you know, when you haven't shot in a while, you tend to jump up there out of anxiousness and before you make a decision, just go up there and shoot it, because no matter what, you're going to pay for that. And had I been to every one of these tournaments the past 2 years of these men's tournaments.
On that, and I'll bring up a point that's very interesting. Reyes is at the table leading the match 6-1. Really? He may have come down a little bit short of the mark, and I believe he's going to go 2 cushions here and maybe kick it and go up table with the cue ball. Well, he just barely missed the top side of the
Was
5.
he trying to pocket that ball?
Well, he tried to hit, creating distance, an ally for him on that particular shot. He almost hit the top part of the 5. Had he struck the top part of the 5, he may have even pocketed the ball.
He could either pocket the 5 or the 5 ball could bank down to the end rail.
Exactly. So that you saw the value in the shot after he executed the shot. But now, all you need to do now is learn how to execute it when it's available.
That's right. It's very important when you're kicking at a ball to understand that you can't just try and hit the ball. You have to, when you get to this level of play, try to hit a certain side of the ball and either kick to safe him, to safe your opponent, or kick, here's the ball, I need to hit halfway and just slam at this ball at any speed. You notice the men play, you will.
Especially EFRÉN Reyes.
The great Earl Strickland break.
Oh, now this is...
because even if EFRÉN, who will probably kick the ball and make it, he doesn't have to get position on the floor with the 7
He's pushing for a jump shot here. Now EFRÉN will realize that the greatest jump shooters in the world to shoot it.
That's right. Well,
and that time he wasn't able to perform, but
he hardly
games he really needs these opportunities.
Whenever I go for a run out where every ball, such as the 6 pocket, I always try to find what's called the key ball, what you're going to have the most trouble at. That's the first thing I look for, the problem area, which here would be the 6 ball.
Earl's body language prior to shooting the 5 was an indication to me that he was really unhappy with the position that he had on the 5. I myself didn't really see it, so I don't really know how to interpret some of his body language at times.
You know how I interpret it? I really believe that Earl, although I don't know him very well, I believe he really truly loves. Sometimes it becomes a job for some people, and I really believe that he truly loves this game, and he wants to execute his playing as perfectly as possible. So I think it's just out of the perfectionist in him. And that's really an honor.
You're the tambourine man. Anyways, after game number 9, after game number 9, Earl Strickland trails in the match by 3 games, 6-3.
What's the tambourine my time?
Yeah, that's okay too. There's a lot of things that happened before your time, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
Such as the men and the women playing together. It's really a shame.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that at a
Some other
later
time.
time. Falling behind 6-0, finding himself now trailing only by 3 games, and it was in the right-hand corner, so therefore he has to play the angle off of the 6 to drop for the 7 for position for the lower left-hand corner. And it looks like he's played it himself in just about perfect line, because if you notice the angle that he has, all he needs to do now is follow it to the side cushion, and he's in perfect line. I thought he was a little straighter on the 6th than that. When I saw the cue ball come down in this direction, I was kind of surprised. But of course, like I mentioned before, our vantage point sometimes sees angles.
With an incredible shot, and they really had it was very tough for them to control the speed of the shot. But when they have control of the shot, you will never see them.
Any one of the top players could win consistently.
Right.
Because of that very point that you brought up.
Did you just see that shot? Did you just see that shot? He had to miss the 3 and come.
Sometimes and actually the more pool in rotation than there is in any other game. You have to know a lot about kisses, billiards, combinations, going in between shots. And
I think it's a combination of all games. 9 balls, straight pull, 1 pocket, billiards.
anyways, I was about to say that EFRÉN Reyes is the undisputed, but he was able to thread the needle like he so often does.
Because he's a master.
He certainly is, and you're here witnessing all this. Aren't you just excited? Thrilled?
Seems to be able to string racks because they're both pushing out or playing safe. Something. Another example of his creativity.
Exactly.
What he just did there. When you watch this video and see what you can come up with, and then see how quickly he came up with that safety. That's right.
And because now you've seen it before, if it comes up and you can recognize it, possibly you might be able to even execute it. Because you have to know it's available before you can execute it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Earl's going to like his next shot here. Okay.
Beautifully executed once again, positioning the cue ball behind it, squarely following through it, and then eventually ending up behind the 3. So therefore, even though he was baffled, it wasn't for long. He did scratch off the 9.
Or make the 9.
So he opted to play the safe. He said, no, I'm not going to fool with this. It's a little bit too dangerous. I'm going to play the safe and possibly even hook him behind the 6.
He saw that even if he made the shot, most likely there was no reward.
The position of the 1 and
He
8.
makes the 8 ball away.
No, he tried to back kick the 1, and one of the very few times he has committed an error. You've been
I study
analyzing his game quite well, you know. You do study him.
He did that exactly.
Doing it like it was planned.
These stats tapes are, in fact, more valuable than practice.
I think
again,
they're
I practice so much.
invaluable.
That's right. It's I learned so much from these tapes. I study them, and it's real important exactly what they do. And before they shoot it, I think about it. I exercise my brain to try to think like they do. You know, I really think about, well, what would I do in this situation? And when they do something different, I want to understand why. And if I don't know why, I will replay that shot 100, 1,000 times if I have to, till I can start to understand.
Decide how you would play it, then you would watch to see how the pro plays it. So it's the same thing. And you're right on in knowing how
to
take advantage of the tapes.
Do not just look.
I'd like to ask you a question. What do you do in your spare time when you're not eating or playing pool?
At the end of the AccuStats tapes, I go to the pool room. When I come home from the pool room, I watch an AccuStats tape. And then I go to sleep so that I can wake up in the morning and play more pool. This, right here, what we are doing, sitting next to you, watching the greatest players play, is, look at, do I need to say more?
Emotion, exactly.
That had he been a hair differently, he would have had a shot either way. He played a great shot there, a nice safety there.
Right. What he had to work with, he did well with.
So to hit the bottoms of the 2, do you think so? Putting the 2 up table and bring the cue ball back down?
Exactly. That's exactly what he attempted. Now he got a little bit of a fortuitous roll once again because the 2 went, you know, and he's playing with
seems like he does
sometimes
most of the time.
Yeah. Okay, Earl's put all his eggs in one basket by trying to position the cue ball behind the 7 and also position the 2 ball near the 6, 8, and the 5, or he can roll it in. He's looking like he's going to pound it. Okay, when you shoot balls hard, you diminish the accuracy of the shot somewhat. Now, once again, a little bit of a fortuitous roll, and EFRÉN knows it, and he's delighted. And I can't see the cue ball. He's positioned it behind the 7. He needs it behind the 7.
The only way it could go wrong here is if he hits it fully enough to continue to fall and scratch, because as he's going to it, he will have a high ball on it. And follow and scratch, as I called it. That's the only thing that could go wrong. I knew he was going to hit the ball. That was the only thing that could go wrong.
There was another point that you brought up earlier in the telecast about when you fall behind, you still have to maintain that patience, that deliberate play to get back into the match, and a lot of players don't have that. Now, I made a comment in an earlier match with David Maddox, and I said to him that, and he agreed, and he also brought up the point that sometimes when players fall behind, they have a tendency to start shooting very quickly.
Do you think you would have won 2 rails on that shot? I'm sorry, but that's something that I disagree with him, and of course he's the better player, but I wanted to ask you, on that 6 ball, I would have went 1 rail because I would have maintained the angle that I wanted from the time it hit the rail all down towards the 7. Whereas he went 2 rails, and he was closer to straight in for a longer period of time when he needed to keep an angle no matter what.
Well, the way you explained it, look at this. Athleticism he's just displayed here. I don't know what he was agreed that, you know, that lead was certainly not insurmountable when we're playing the caliber of players that are out there tonight.
That will be very costly.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to position for that pocket anyway.
He might.
I don't think so.
Okay, he opted to go to the corner, which is an indication that
it's true.
You know, he could have gone a little farther. Hit a little roughly, but
jumped up on the shot.
You strike the object ball and the cue ball. It's okay to jump. The problems are when you jump before striking the cue ball.
Because your body's in motion. You know who jumps up a lot, but he jumps up after he strokes the ball? Tommy Kennedy.
He certainly is, and he had a great tournament.
I believe so.
I think he finished 5th in this event.
5th.
Or maybe even 4th, it may have been. No, I think it was 5th. 5th, matter of fact. C.J. Wiley just defeated Rodolfo Luak. Luak goes to the ice, and it looks like he's going to win a tournament, and I think it's going to be in a very near future. So therefore, if he goes on to win, there
Look
goes
at the 9 ball.
Now that's the 3rd time Reyes has pocketed the 9 on the break. There it goes again. It was going again. Well, anyways, I commented to David Maddox about C.J. Wiley. But of course, he has a couple obstacles to overcome, and those 2 obstacles are the gentlemen that are out there on the floor right now.
Pocket. So even when he jumps the shot, he didn't go for the jump shot.
That's an excellent kick. He was able to put both the 1 ball and the cue ball on opposite sides of the table, and we can see, have a little better look. You may be right, it may not go, so therefore, or maybe he's forcing it in. He's drawing it, forcing it in. Okay, that's what he did.
With the draw, it gave the 2 balls follow. It was a great shot, Billy.
I'm sorry, I just
You have to have knowledge, you have to have touch, you have to know how much draw and what kind of speed. It was a great shot.
You're right. Inside joke. Okay, back to the match.
Billy's commenting about my ex-boyfriend crowd.
Believe me, Bobby Hunter is one of the finest cue makers in the world, only making cues for a short period of time.
So what are you saying? Your word is good enough, but mine isn't? Although you're best friends with Bob also?
Through association, they're going to think that. In the meantime, this isn't really that easy of a shot. But it hit the center of the pocket.
That's right.
And with the pocketing of the 9, Reyes will now find himself on the hill.
He's going to make sure that 9 ball doesn't go in the pocket.
I don't know about that. He made the 1. And let's take a look at the 2. Where's the 4? He does not have an offensive shot.
Now that is clear. Okay, he's pushing out. Making sure he kept him on the rail.
Well, the 6, yeah. I don't know what he's going to do here. He's opting to cross the 2 back up table.
That was a great shot. Look at that. Took him no time at all.
No, he's going to go 1 rail right after 2.
Right to the 2.
Well, he went 2 cushions. I like the chances of him going for the pocket. The ball. That was the time to go for the pocket. Because if he expected to come out of it with the safety, I think he was expecting a little bit too much. If he would have gone for the pocket, had he hit the ball as well as he did. But now we'll see if Errol responds to the challenge, and
he drew a whale shot.
Yes, he did.
I believe he was playing for the side pocket.
Oh, obviously. By the way, this lead definitely is surmountable considering the generosity of the table, giving up balls on the break, that is. So therefore, even a 5-game lead in a race to 11, 10 games to 6, Earl needing 5 games to win is still surmountable because of the big pockets and the way the balls open up. They've been opening up quite easily for both players. A lot of action, pocketing a lot of balls on the break. Earl's not out of it yet. Balls tightly enough for him. And because he's racking them tight, and he's been giving Reyes a real good rack, and that's the reason why Reyes has been pocketing the 9. And he figures since he has a better break than Reyes. I asked you a question. You had an opportunity to talk.
Myself? I have no idea.
Oh, first time you had no idea.
Billy, the 2 can pass the
But
4.
he does, so therefore he may see something differently.
Look at this. How'd he hit it?
He made a very good shot. I didn't see that shot. Possibly I may have executed that shot, or at least tried to, but he saw the shot, executed it perfectly, and he's at the table once again with an opportunity to narrow the gap.
Ice. Ice, that's what's in his veins.
Ice, do you think?
Ice.
6, it looks like it's, yeah.
He's not
showing,
sure he'd really be upset.
Yeah, he's showing no sign of
distress.
Distress, good word. And so therefore, indication that he is in line. Game 18 looks like it's going to go Strickland's way. With the pocketing of the 9, all of a sudden Earl will find himself only 2 games from
hell. The breaks, making sure you don't scratch on the break is so important. That some
1
people...
ball. Nothing. Nothing. And well, it seems like it's going to be all over, Jeanette. Ray is stepping to the table.
The 4 ball does clear the 9 into the lower right-hand corner pocket.
Well, considering the position of the 3, he wanted a little straighter angle than he ended up with. Now he's going to have to go across table, which he does.
Great shot.
He avoided the contact of the 4 on the side. Go up table off of that, or what do you want to do here? Okay, he went into the 9, and have to probably end up shooting the 5 around the position of where the 7 is. Okay, so this is still interesting. But he's going to go around the 8, that's for sure. If he, well, he did go 2 cushions, and he shot it in that fashion because he increased the accuracy of the shot by shooting it like that.
Makes the shot a lot easier to execute.
And with that shot, it looks like he's going to close out Strickland's. Because this angle may suggest that he goes 2 cushions.
I think he'll go 1.
1 cushion, he's gone. Finding himself in... It's hard to shoot a shot that hard, you know, because you decrease the accuracy somewhat, but when you have the confidence in your ball pocketing ability, you can do things like that without being a bit nervous. And at the end of game number 19, Mr. Reyes defeats Earl Strickland.